Welcome back to the Forge of Champions, and things are certainly starting to heat up in this grand final. But we are used to it because it happened in Forge of Champions 2 as well. XL are on their way to bringing it back to ENCLAVE. ENCLAVE still just need one victory to secure this title, but XL will have something to say about that as the classic reverse sweep kings begin their mounting challenge to try and take this series away. Now, before we jump back into the next game, we do have a special announcement. It's time for the pool party section of this show, as we've done many times before. Where's the towel? We actually need to bring the towel into the mix as well. Again.
Are we bringing the dog?
We're going to bring the dog in as well. Here we go.
There we go.
Just gonna bring it all up. Okay.
Perfect.
Right. So, if you want to be involved and get yourself one of 3 pool party bundles, you can go to forgeofchampions.com and register yourself or your team for the next Forge of Champions tournament. I believe registration closes on Friday. I'm just going to say that in a slight inflection because I'm not sure.
I mean, yes, it does.
It does. There we go. You can also go to LVP UK on Twitter and follow the Twitter account and make sure you smash that follow button. And then also tweet with the hashtag, I think it's Pool Party FOC. I can't actually see the screen anymore because the giant dog.
You're doing well here, Scout.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Pool Party FOC, and please answer with the question. Answer the question rather. Shut up, guys. Answer the question: which pool party champion from the pool party line of skins would you like to have on a desert island? Oh, he's spraying me with water. There's a lot of water, Dalsy. It's running down my back. Yeah, God, guys, now I've forgotten. A desert island. Yeah, desert island made of ice cream. Which shut up, guys.
Half a litre of ice cream, desert island.
Which
2 parts lemon, 1 part strawberry.
Which pool party champion would you like to have on a desert island?
Which one would you like? Are you sticking to Graves, the scoundrel?
Yeah, I'm just going to stick to Graves.
Why not Caitlyn?
Caitlyn doesn't offer anything. She doesn't give you any sustainability in terms of water.
It's output. Ziggs, Graves, even Lee Sin with his pina coladas would give you water and you'd survive.
Zach?
Yeah, he's just a giant pool of water. There's probably, I don't know if there's like finite amount of water in Zach, you see, so it might, Graves can continuously shoot it out for some unknown infinite resource pool. Anyway, can we move on from this now, guys? You know how to get involved, you know how to get the pool party skins, and that is all you need to know. Make sure that you go to forgeofchampions.com and register, enter the next tournament, follow LVP UK on Twitter, and use the hashtag to answer the question, which was very long and drawn out. Let's go. Next point of reference. It's going to be the next game in this series between XL and ENCLAVE. And obviously XL now head over to the red side, ENCLAVE do get that blue side, and when we get into Champions Select, we'll be looking to see which of them comes out with a more favourable draft. That looked good for XL. They did change their draft style up, it seemed to work. Is the late game focus for them going to be the better focus, you feel, here?
I think it's stopping ENCLAVE get that late game focus is really a big thing for them. I think you do take the 0 away again, and make sure that Aaron can't get his hands on that. Yes, he looked good on the Yasuo, but it felt like the game plan that ENCLAVE had set up never really came to fruition because of all the pressure XL were putting down.
So, bans coming through. I mean, the bans really haven't changed that much through the series. Jhin is going to be a blue side ban here for ENCLAVE. But XL have stuck to that strategy of the Zoe. You know where you're going to see Aaron on Zoe, and that has been the first ban every single time.
Yeah.
Morgana comes through. I like that a lot. Again, makes that Caitlyn Morgana lane impossible to run for the ENCLAVE gaming roster. And XL didn't look too comfortable when they had Morgana on their side, so it's a good choice.
Aatrox ban again coming through on blue side.
I just guess maybe Rift doesn't feel comfortable playing it, doesn't think it's impactful enough, doesn't suit his style. And it's going to be an Alistair ban coming through from XL.
That's Quickset. Yeah, it's on Quickset's
side. It's on Quickset's side, so they banned the Alistair away.
Essentially, they're saying you can't first pick.
You can't first pick Yasuo because you don't have the Alistair combo, basically. But you can first pick Yasuo, but we looked like we knew how to deal with it last time.
Yep. But they go for the first pick Yasuo anyway, so
yeah.
Fair dog.
They liked it. They liked it. So it's going to be going, I'm assuming, towards Aaron again. Bendy has played a lot of different champions down the bottom lane, but I think it will be going towards Aaron. He's a very capable Yasuo player.
Yes, definitely.
But it does mean that, again, we're going to be waiting to see, are they going to go Zyra Khan? This I really like from Venzer and Quickset. I mean, you're already winning out on the bottom lane. You might as well just bring it home in its entirety. But
also, Zyra is very, very good into a Yasuo matchup where you always have that Featherstorm to make sure that if you are caught in a knockup, you have that get out of jail free card that you're always going to have. And sometimes it's that one particular engage that shuts you down. But Tax's Cremilo's open. Tax's Talia is open, and he is going to get his hands on that. That has been previously banned by ENCLAVE to quite a large extent. And now
it's actually banned by XL the entire series.
Yeah. It's banned by XL the entire series. I thought it had been banned by ENCLAVE.
Nope.
Oh, maybe, because I think Eren can play it as well, obviously, as in the mid lane. But anyway, Tax is going to get his hands on it this time round.
But this is the kind of wild card that we talked that, Ferndo would have to pull out in Game 4. Is that you ban this one champion the entire series, and then you leave it open, you forget about it, because you've already shown with the Alistair ban, it's like, hey, look, Yasuo can't be picked here. Oh, they go for the first pick anyway.
It's like dangling in front of them,
Yasuo can be picked.
No, but like, it's exactly
like
that.
a carrot on a stick.
It's a carrot on the stick, which hides from the true intention of the draft.
I'm kind of looking at this Tahm Kench pick, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think that Bendy and Hado kind of need something. Yes, it needs to be defensive, but I feel like you're just giving too much away. Unless maybe they're going to go Tahm Kench Ezreal. That's the only thing I can think of. And you just go super safe in the bottom lane. You're like, look, we're already losing out. Let's just make sure that we're just looking to scale and we can keep this all nice and safe for ourselves.
Looks like it will be the Xayah that gets locked in, so you have that Xayah-Rakan combo. Again, it's going to be likely mid lane and top lane on the second rotation here for XL. Could be some jungler bans coming through from Enclave as the jungler... Oh, no, sorry. Obviously, Talia has been picked up. Yeah. So I guess it could be some AD carry bans coming out from XL. Again, Ezreal is a good one to try and take off the board if you want to make sure that you don't have a super safe AD carry at all times. You could also look to start constricting the mid lane, I guess, if you're Enclave.
Yeah, I think Enclave... See, this is what I'm like. You're going to have to blind pick a top laner on Enclave side as well. So it's kind of like, do you try and, restrict the amount of top laners that can actually go against the pick that you're going to be going for?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what XL are doing right now. I mean, the Darius ban kind of says to me that they're looking for a Gnar. And if it's not banned away on the side of Enclave, you just pick up the Gnar and you got a really strong team fight there. You got the setup from Quickset. You got the Gnar can come through. Talia is going to do fantastic in that situation. Ton of CC. So that could be the play that they go for here. You get a great split push going as well. I
like the Xayah ban here. I think it's a good pick into Yasuo. I think it shuts down a lot of these heavy engage, because Yasuo really only has heavy engage. He really goes well with all-in compositions, obviously, that have those knockups. I'm wondering whether this is the time that we might see a Rifty Malphite come out. It works really well with the Yasuo. As long as you ban certain matchups, it's not so bad. I'd probably like to see a Gnar ban from Enclave if they want to go for that particular line of play.
The only issue that I have with the Rifty Malphite is that it would then rely so much more heavily on Bendy to actually be a consistent damage source for the team. And with the current performance that he's been having, it might just be a little bit too much pressure.
Yeah.
I think they ban Gnar anyway on every second rotation of bans here, but if you want to have Rifty on Malphite to be more of an Eren engage bot, then that's what I would have done personally in this particular draft phase. It does mean Rifty's going to lose his split push pressure, though. You can't split push on a Malphite throughout the game. You just don't have the wave clear potential as the game scales on. So, interesting to me that might be the way that Enclave go, because it changes that their playstyle very heavily from relying on Rifty. But a lot of Rifty's good, solid champions have been banned out with the Renekton and the Darius going down as well. Camille is still open, of course.
Camille is still there. I don't know if you want to pick that up, though. I'm trying to figure out, like, the only other kind of top lane pick that kind of springs to mind for me is maybe a Gangplank. I think that could work pretty well with
quite risky when you pick it blind.
It is, and that's the only thing that I'm worried about. But you kind of seen the Gnar banned away, Darius banned away, Renekton banned away, so there's not a huge amount of guys there that can still pressure him a huge amount. The only one kind of would be that Camille, but you can still play that relatively safely.
Oh, there we go. Thinking about a top lane here again. For me, I feel like it has to be a solid, safe top laner that doesn't have too many bad matchups. I think Rifty could go for the Camille here if you wanted to, but it doesn't really synergize with the composition too well. The Poppy does give you the potential for the knockup. I think you can Yasuo ultimate off Poppy's hammer as long as you do it instantaneously. So it is a good way to get that combo going. However, this composition now for me relies heavily on Eren. Like this is all Eren as this game scales on.
It's also on Bendy. I mean, and I like that he's now got the Varus pick. I mean, I think it's got everything that you need for Bendy right now, utility, but also if he does have a good game, he's got a heap of damage that can come out from that pick. And I really want to see Bendy step up for the mark. He's been out of position several times, has cost his team a good bit, and I want to see him finally show why he was on Optic Academy. Like, this guy is a damn good player, but he just hasn't had the opportunity to show it.
Something that we didn't pick up because it was Talia jungle. You obviously needed a tank, well, really needed a tank in the top lane there for Sendo, so even he was slightly constricted in what he could bring. That may have changed the way Enclave thought about drafting, knowing that it's very unlikely that they were going to pick a strict split pusher here, so it's probably safer to go something like Poppy anyway. So even if they picked something like Fiora, it doesn't matter so much because that just means they've got a really weak composition in terms of overall health percentages, so they needed a Chang for the top lane for Sendo.
I think game 1, Sendo was second highest damage dealer for the team on the Cho'Gath as well.
He's a good Cho'Gath player.
Really good Cho'Gath player. Really good at sustaining damage throughout the team fights as well. Very different compositions from both these two teams. Finally, we get something that really mixes up the draft. In which way does it go?
That's
this is
a tough one. Yeah.
This is a tough one.
I really like... So, I'm looking at Excel's composition, and they've got great engage coming through from Quickset, but they've got some with their Taxer as well, but I actually really like their counter engage. So if they start to peel back, Orianna with that shockwave, if you got Munkus, Eren, Rift, and all them running over this shockwave, it could cause absolute decimation to the health bars. I think they can fight back very well. You got Fenzer, he's got, as you were talking about already, that ultimate on the Xayah, which can do great at just positioning yourself correctly. And you've also got to try and get through Sendo, who's just going to be absolutely massive on the Cho'Gath. So I think if XL come in as a 5-man squad into these objectives, they actually have an incredibly tough lineup to get through. It's really going to rely on if Munkus or Rift can get onto this backline, and I actually nearly would have preferred a Trundle in this composition. One of the really nice interactions between a Yasuo and a Trundle is that you can pillar the priority target and Eren can just be delivered straight to the backline. I feel like they're missing that this time around, and that makes it so much more difficult to lock down either Rippy or Venzer, and it gives a lot of freedom to the side of Excel to just counteract everything that Enclave want to do.
I do think that Munkus' Gragas so far has looked fairly strong this
It's
series.
one of his best champions.
The fact that it was banned away against him in game 3 was pretty big, because that was very clearly where Enclave wanted to go with the draft, having picked up the Yasuo. So now they have another knock-up tool, but also they have a jungler pick that Munkus feels so comfortable on and is very good at being influential on as well. I feel like we have to change, though, what Munkus is focusing on. This top side, popping in a Cho'Gath, yeah, of course you can find advantages,
it's a handbag fight.
But who cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's the Varus in the bot lane. If you don't get Bendy ahead, if you lose bot lane again, and you're probably going to against the Xayah Rakan, then you're in trouble.
So the big thing is, though, the Hado has gone Ignite. So that means they're actually looking to go aggressive bot lane. You could usually go cleanse on a Tahm Kench, particularly against a Xayah Rakan.
Yeah.
I mean, you need something to get out of there. What that says is that Munkus is going to be down here. Like, there's no other reason for you.
Yeah,
unless
you would not take an Ignite on a Tahm Kench if you were planning to be a defensive Tahm Kench.
Exactly. So this is where I'm looking at, is that Munkus is planning on putting his effort into Bendy and Hado, and hopefully we can get a very different performance from Bendy because of it.
Double teleport again. And again, one of the things that you can do with the Enclave roster is you can 1-3-1. That was working for a limited time in the last game for them. There is not really a super reliable form of engage from XL Esports. Yeah, you can kind of engage with Talia, you can kind of engage with Rakan, but there isn't a super reliable point-and-click form of engage, which means it's going to be hard to punish a 1-3-1 in a lot of scenarios. Also, you have, like you said, a double teleport which can be used for a bot lane tower dive if you have the ability, but I just don't think that a Varus and a Tahm Kench is going to shove in a Xayah Rakan, so I don't know if they're going to get that opportunity to make that happen, but that's something that I'm looking at. If things go even throughout the laning phase, you can transition to a 1-3-1, and the worst thing for an Orianna in any kind of team fight composition is to have her pulled to a side lane.
Oh yeah, she just loses all of her power. I think they might be able to pull off a Terror Dive, but it relies heavily on how much Munkus can get in and affect that lane. If you can get these early ganks off and maybe pick off Quickset, or I don't even know how you do that though. I mean, the Xayah Rakan lane is just so oppressive to try and go against, because it's just a case of Quickset tanks up everything and then he just zips straight out of there. So it's the work cut out for Enclave, but they can definitely get ahead in some factors in this play.
Again, though, I feel like Eren is such a big part of this composition. I just feel like for me, yeah, bot lane is important, but if Eren does badly, they don't really have good team fight damage sources, and he needs to be a split pushing threat. He needs to be able to 1v1 the Orianna, especially as the game progresses. So for me, like, if I'm Munkus, I'm having a keen eye on mid, and as well as the fact that Orianna, when flashes burn, is one of the most vulnerable mid laners in the game. She doesn't have much escape potential. Any kind of engage with Gragas, especially post level 6, is going to put Orianna under the thumb. That is a lane that I'm looking to put pressure on as Munkus over and over again.
And particularly with a Yasuo who can just dash through those minions so effectively, and you already have the engage ready. I mean, Munkus just needs to connect a body slam, and there you go, Yasuo's in and ready to go.
Munkus has not had the best of rotations this game. He hasn't had the best of clearing paths this game. He spent a lot of time hiding in bushes looking for the perfect gank that never came. I think for Monkus, he needs to make sure that he's heading into this game clear as head as possible, really just looking to execute on the game plan.
So, boys, before we head into this next game of the series, I think you can kind of maybe hear some of those sounds going on. What do we think in terms of winning here, very quickly?
I don't know how to call this. I actually don't
Something
know
is going
on.
on.
First blood! I called it! I'm a play-by-play and I did it!
Quickly, give me a prediction.
I predicted a 3-1.
3-1, you're going to stick with it?
I actually don't know how to call this one. It's far too close.
Okay, far too close. I mean, I don't know if I can take that as an answer. Something might have happened on Summoner's Rift. It sounded like something happened. I'm not sure, though. We'll have to make sure we have a look when we get into game. We usually wait a little bit for some reason because we just want to sometimes see the farming and also pauses. But I'll have to. Okay, we're going into game now. Sorry, production just letting me know that they are going to jump into game as soon as possible. And it looks like...
Oh, it was a bug.
It was a bug.
Yep. Okay.
Makes me sad.
Well, there we go.
So, yeah, I looking at these, I really don't know how to call it. It's just both these lineups are so close, and it really does rely on the junglers this time around. There's no like definitive winner in the top lane that can be that big split push that can relieve the pressure around the map. These guys are going to go pretty even. Actually, ooh, Quickseth.
Quickseth may be caught out here, but no, here comes the rest of Excel. Haddo flashing away. First blood does come through in the end.
It's a bug, boys.
It's a bug. And now they're going for more. Vents are going to go down. That's going to be Rippy losing his life as well. First blood to Excel, but 3 to Enclave.
That was catastrophic for Excel. I have no idea what they were attempting to do there.
So I take it back about it being about the junglers. This is not how Excel wanted this game to start off. You've got a kill over onto Bendy, and this was the guy that we were trying to watch, see if he had anything that he could bring out. And you've now got a kill onto this guy, a kill onto the Yasuo in the mid lane as well, and pretty much everything blown on this bottom side of the map as well. So suddenly Bendy and Haddo are in a much safer lane because there's no real follow-up from Excel. They're the ones who have to play safe.
Oh, that was so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm still here, by the way.
It's fine.
No, you're fine.
Totally. Well.
Yeah.
Here we go. Another engage onto Bendy in the bot side. Forced to heal. It looks like Taxa was coming in level 2 as well. What a crazy game we have to start us off here. Everyone's just hungry for blood.
I thought it was going to be a slower game, to be honest. I thought both teams were going to be kind of tapering off because of how much pressure they'd received in the last few games. And this is the finals. Like, there's a lot to play for here, but both of these teams are just looking for any inch they can get right now.
Why would you take such a risky invade when it is the game that you need to win to keep yourself in the series? Why not just play this safe? You don't need to take those invades. There's no way. I mean, maybe you get that massive early advantage, but there's no way that you need to make those invades.
You don't have to. We're also tri-cast now, and I think we just stick to it.
I'm gonna peace out.
Away.
When the camera goes, I'm gonna fade into the distance.
It's gonna be like,
but I might as well talk since I'm on camera now.
I think as well when you're looking at like Aaron does a lot of damage early on, and particularly if you're evading into his jungle, he can most certainly get those tornadoes off, get several of those Q procs down, and I think that was really where the turning point was, and a great engage from Rift as well, just pinning Rippy against the wall before he could flash. So all in all, it was just everything coming up for Enclave.
Not completely dominant yet, though, Darcy. I mean, it's only 1k gold lead. I mean, those early invades can happen, but people definitely come back from them. It's how you exploit those small item advantages in the laning phase that makes the difference.
And there hasn't really felt like there has been any advantages yet taken by Enclave. Perhaps they need to go back to base. Everyone kind of was very quick to get into the lanes after the invade happened, so even though there were 3 kills in favor of Enclave and a first blood, I guess, to the bot side, there hasn't been the chance to really get it. Here's that invade again. Gosu, might as well run with you here.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was looking at. Quickset is completely on his own, and you can see Excel were looking for the invade. They're trying to do something sneaky, but the rest of Excel were just too far back. Monkus gets in a great knock-up as well, coming through from Aaron to slow everything down, and they're all just cut off. I mean, Rift joins in, pins Rippy against the wall, and there's no point in him flashing at that stage. He's already dead.
Yeah, already a couple of flashes used as well.
Ooh, Rift.
Rift under the tower does just about survive. It's good, because otherwise we would have needed another replay.
That could have been catastrophic both for production crew and for Rift in that top lane, because we can already see, I was surprised Taxer's putting the pressure up here. Oh, hang on. Rift is teleporting back in, straight into the waiting hands of Sendo and
look
Taxer.
at it. Oh, that's so sad. You just teleported back in from base, and you're already at 1/4 of your HP.
That was just greedy, to be honest. I mean, he could have just teleported to the tower, but teleported the minions who were a little bit too far forward, and Taxer was there just to knock him back into Sendu. And Taxer has been putting a lot of pressure down in the early stages. I thought it might have tapered off just because of that. He kind of got a knock of confidence in the early game, but it really hasn't come through that way. And actually, he's hovering around in this in this top lane once again to see if he can make some magic happen.
It seems odd that this is the lane that you're looking to try and really get ahead. Your Cho'Gath against a Poppy. It's not like you are super worried that Rifty is going to be the split pushing threat, but maybe it's just easy pickings. Silence comes through. That's Rift dead in just a second. Sendo. When you look elsewhere across the map, actually, Bendy is doing alright against Venza right now. Aaron is pushing Rippy under tower.
Yeah, to be honest, I agree with you. I thought that they were looking to do that to get the kill over onto Taxer and then set them up for a strong jungler. I mean, Tilly already does a good chunk of damage. If you can get her ahead as well, she can pretty much delete any of the Eren or Bendy or some of the squishy members of Enclave. So I thought that was what was going to happen, but it was Sendu who pretty happily took up the kill from Rift, finishing off with the last touch of damage. So it looks like it's just a case of if we can get Sendu ahead, he can be too tanky for the rest of Enclave to deal with. Because again, we're seeing this Eren being that big AD in the mid lane. Bendy, actually, I suppose on the Varus does have options there. Can go for that AP build, which will kind of split out that damage a little bit more, but will definitely make it a bit easier for Sendu if he is going that on-hit build.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Interesting start to this game. Enclave going to maintain the gold lead for now. And Engage does come through onto Haddo, but Munkus is in the lurks. Taxa from behind as well. Maybe they can catch something out here. Depends on if Munkus wants to dive on in. Yeah, goes for the flash engage, but doesn't quite connect. It gets pulled back in. Has to get swallowed up. The heal also used by Bendy to make sure that Munkus doesn't lose his life.
Yeah, but both flashes are burnt on Quickset and Venzer. The Ignite is burned as well. And once again, we're seeing these big offensive summoner spells for XL, or at least that can be used offensively, are now being washed away. And it just means that there's very little to be gained for them on this bottom side of the map. Quickset is trying to get in to see if he can be a nuisance, but time and time again, Haddo is just gobbling up Bendy and making sure that no harm can come to his ADC.
Good stuff so far. Knock up there. Of course, not going to dive under the tower for the last breath just yet. Aaron, though, very confident on this Yasuo into the Orianna. Huge CS lead started to gather already just through his aggression, I suppose.
Yeah, it is starting to come through for them on the side of XL, but this is where I want to see what can happen with Enclave. Aaron has advantage in that mid lane. We're also looking towards Bendy, who will be hitting that level 6 mark fairly soon. Might be able to make something happen in around this bottom side with both flashes down. I'd actually love to see Aaron try and make his way towards a rotation now and see if he can get down at least a roam off to the bottom side. If you can get Munkus into that lane, he can easily get onto Quickset or Venzer, and with the amount of CC that's there, there's no moving for these guys.
Yeah, they haven't hit level 6 yet, and obviously flashes are down, so it'd be the perfect time if you were going to play around your bot lane to get that lead for yourself. Aaron does push this minion wave into the tower here, but instead it looks like Munkus and Aaron are making their way up towards the top side instead. Cho'Gath pushed under the tower, has a flash available, but is sitting about half his health, so maybe they feel that the aggression of just going towards that Rift Scuttle is enough to give Rift the advantage he needs to continue pushing down this turret.
Yeah, Sendo's taking a good chunk of damage, but does have Taxer his way up. Munkus is looking to answer that as well.
Yeah.
So it's either a case of Taxer, if he goes towards the top lane, Munkus can then steal the buff. But looks like with Aaron moving up towards the red buff as well, Tilly is going to be down one.
Oh, they're looking to try and give this over to Aaron if possible as well. Huge, but look, Aaron actually just goes over the wall, finds Taxa here, so they're denying farm onto Taxa and stealing away his entire jungle. Good moves from Enclave, really aggressive. Reducing Rippy will be making his way up towards the top side just to show face. Does connect that ball onto Munkus. Not going to go for the shockwave just yet. And all this time, Bendy actually holding his own really nicely against Venza and Quickstep. He hasn't felt too threatened. I say that, here comes the engage, but Haddo once more able to spit him out to safety every single time.
Yeah, and this is exactly what they needed, particularly against an aggressive lane like Venza and Quickset. Having that Tahm Kench there, I was wondering, how it's going to work out, if they were just going to give over too much, but Haddo's actually been playing this incredibly well and keeping Bendy very
Oh my god, that's disgusting! They bring Bendy and Haddo up as well. 4 men in the mid lane. This tower is already at half health and they can just knock it straight down.
And we're finally seeing Enclave going for these aggressive early plays. That was a rotation up. They're going to get the first brick turret off of this as well, and it opens up Aaron to start rotating around the map. Him and Monkus can just become an absolute goon squad and take over these side lanes.
Absolutely beautiful stuff from ENCLAVE. Just a single move and already huge amounts of pressure opened up all across the map. 2,000 gold in their pocket over XL so far. You have to feel this is a really good start for ENCLAVE, especially considering they just went down in fabulous style to XL.
Yeah, if I'm Sendu and or Venzer and Quickset, I am terrified of being underneath my towers right now. We touched on a bit when we were going through Champ Select about getting that dive potential down in either the bottom lane or the top lane. When you've got Aaron who can so easily join in those scenarios, these become way more likely. And even Sendu, who is somewhat tanky at the moment, who's picked up a good chunk of armor for himself, he still has to be careful. There's a lot of damage that can come down very quickly from Monkus, from Rift, and Aaron on top of that.
Red buff secured there by Bendy. Now going to make his way down to bot lane, catch this wave under his tower. Bit of extra damage that potentially Venza has to now deal with. Look at this, Rippy. So scared of everything Aaron is showing in the mid lane.
And I love the way Enclave are controlling this river as well. You can see there's very few red wards that are pushed up into that blue area of the map, and it means that it's opening up for Aaron. Ooh.
There it is. Going to be the charm attempt onto Haddo. Doesn't quite connect. Now he has to fall back. Where did the Chains of Corruption go? Must have not connected. Was so close. Tax is in the bot lane looking for a flash seismic shove, but Bendy's going to be able to get out of that one using the summoner himself. They've just pretty much shut down everything XL wanted to do in the bot lane.
Does burn the flash, but not really going to have an opportunity to take full advantage of it quite yet, especially when Haddo still has his available. And once he has the Devourer, he can get out. But yeah.
Raymond Goon squad in the mid lane. Great flash over the body slam. Rift's going to try and follow it up. There's the ultimate coming through from Aaron. Last breath, Sendo may just have his. And that is going to be Aaron picking up his second kill of the game.
And that's what we were saying. I mean, yes, Sendo does have a good amount of armor there for him, but if you've got 3 members who are going in on top of you, it's too easy for them to take him down. They knew they were safe going for that play after seeing Taxer on the bottom side, and it's just solidified a further lead for themselves and more kills onto Aaron. No reason you can't do this again as well. Like, it's just Rippy consistently pushed in and then Aaron looking for plays on these sideways.
So far, so good, really. From the side of ENCLAVE. Got themselves 3,000 gold now at this 12.5 minute mark, and I think more importantly, Bendy is just keeping up with Venza, hasn't fallen behind. There has not been a single kill onto him just yet.
And that's really big because of how strong these 1-3-1 is looking for Enclave right now. Aaron has 2 kills, is working very quickly up towards that static shiv again. So he's actually going to be in fantastic shape as we start to move into this mid-game point. And because Bendy and Haddo have been able to hold up their own, it means they've got a very strong 3 that can start to push these waves back out from the likes of Venzer and Quickset. Because you've got Monkus there who can use the barrels to clear, you've also got Bendy who's got those arrows, so they never really have to worry too much, and Aaron can just be that big push on the side.
Oh, looking like they're going for Haddo here. He's going to use the stopwatch now. Bendy left on his own. Corruption comes out. Taxa trying to fight over this blue buff. Gonna dodge out that Gragas ultimate, but Aaron will take him down. Now gonna turn onto Rippy, and the teleport's coming out from Rift as well, just to make sure that this goes the way they want it to. Quickseth does escape for now. The auto attack does come through from Rift. Looks like Bendy and Haddo survived on the back end of that one as well.
I want to see what else they can get for this though, because Sendo's gonna get a good amount of damage down.
Venza just flashes straight on forward. Nothing that Bendy can do.
I don't think Bendy was supposed to be there, to be honest. But Enclave are still looking for more.
Oh, diving onto Quickseth. Great usage of the Poppy ultimate, knocking them all up here. Venza throws out those feathers and really scares them backwards.
But all this time, Sendo is still in the top lane. This hasn't gained anything for Enclave. Yes, they got a kill, but now they're being forced back, and that's not what you want to be doing when you're the team that's ahead. You've invested a huge amount, and Sendo might actually just get this tower.
Yeah, it does look like Sendo will get this tower. I'm sure if we switch over to him in the top side, we'll get to see the health. Yep, look at that. Very, very low at this point. Minion wave will be crashing down soon, and I mean the teleport for Eren won't be up in time to be able to get there to stop it. Now XL have priority in the bot side as well. They can look to try and knock this tower down. Bit of wave clear, I suppose, from Monkus, but he can't really get too close. Here's Bendy to help on out with that. All in all, really, entire play goes XL's favor.
And this is the thing, they've taken the tower on the top side of the map though, so where do they really go from here? Sendo isn't actually ahead enough that he can then go, okay, cool, we can start to rotate out our lanes. So if I'm looking at this, it means that Sendo has the opportunity to be in this overextended lane. If Rift wants to, he can just freeze that lane back on his own side of the map, and Sendo consistently is going to have to go and overextend to get that farm, or else just be caught out time and time again. So this is where ENCLAVE actually have the cards in their favor if they want to go and play that way, but it looks like with Rift shoving in that top lane, now going back to pick up the Gromp for himself, he's actually looking to see if he can just get out more on the map and be the kind of the bully in this lane more than anything else.
Okay. Ocean Drake does get picked up here. Tax are using the wall to try and catch out Bendy and Haddo in a miss rotation, but this time they are not caught out. That's kind of been the story though of Bendy in particular, is bad rotations equals death.
Yeah. I could see why he was there. Like, obviously the call was, cool, we're going to collapse on these guys, but you don't need to be that far forward, particularly as the Varus. You're looking to play off of the CC of other champions, so you just play back and play second fiddle to the Poppy, to Eren in these scenarios.
16 minutes have surpassed here, Gosu. It's only 2,000 gold now for ENCLAVE here, but an Ocean Drake has been secured for them indeed. Eren 3-0-3, full kill participation, but then so is Monkus as well.
Yeah, I mean, Eren has been playing absolutely fantastic on this Yasuo. It's just a case of, can they make it work this time around? The good thing about, I suppose, the silver lining on that top lane turret going down is that it's not actually possible for Excel to really punish the side of ENCLAVE. Sendu isn't going to be the big split pusher that we already kind of mentioned. They also don't really have enough priority to go up towards Rift Herald as well and take that, so they can start to make bigger plays around the map. So all they're really doing right now is just stalling out the game, and ENCLAVE still have the opportunity to make these plays. It's actually going to be them moving up towards the Rift Herald, because they're the ones with the priority on Eren in the mid lane.
Yep, as this happens, Venza and Quicksef look to try and secure themselves the bot lane tower. But now with the Rift Herald secured, Monkus will be able to pop that down. In the top side maybe, and in the mid we'll have to find out. Here comes a Haddo engaged though, looking for Rippy and Taxa. Good seismic shove, it is going to be Monkus in the middle of it all. Shockwave knocks them back, Monkus is still alive. And that's going to be the kill going over to Haddo. As they dive on in, Eren wants more, but is forced to go backwards. Bendy flashing onto Taxa will find that kill aggressively. All in all, 2-0 in favor of ENCLAVE.
Plus they got the Rift Herald and they stopped that push in bottom. That was what I was worried about there, was with all the members they'd committed towards that Rift Herald, they end up losing that bottom lane turret to Venzer and Quickseth, who were continuously pushing in towards that second tier in the bottom. You kind of looked at it going, yes, we got Rift Herald, where do we use it? But you got to try and nullify that potential of just losing out more on the bottom side, and they do that superbly in that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely do. Now, an Infernal Drake will join us once more onto the Rift. We'll talk about that in just a second, so let's have a look at this replay that's coming forward.
Yeah, this was... Rippy doesn't really have the damage right now to get what he wants done. Monkus as well gets a good knock-up, so it's easy for Eren to get involved in this fight. Flash away, plus you get the wind wall coming through as well, which means Venzer can't really solidify the kill on any of the low health members. And Bendy comes in with the flash, and it's good to see him get that confidence back. He hasn't really had that throughout this series, and flashing forward aggressively like that shows that he still has the capability to make the big plays happen. He just needs to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with that. Eren, Monkus coming in. Gonna dive on to Venza using the invulnerability. Gets shut down though as the teleport from Sendo to nom him up. Isn't quite able to get the kill though. Now Monkus has to try and hold off against 4.
Yeah, I thought actually that was going to be a lot of damage coming out from Aaron, but looking at the way he's built, it's Phantom Dancer in towards the Hex Drinker, so he actually doesn't have a huge amount of damage output right now. It's a much more defensive style coming through from him, so even though he's 3-1, he's not really going to be hitting like that.
That's true. So where does this leave us as the Baron joining us in just 20 seconds?
I think it kind of leaves, to be honest, XL in a bit of an awkward position. Like, yes, they got the kill onto Aaron, but you can see they're not really in a position to push forward on towards the turrets because they don't have a huge amount of damage there right now. You're 0-2 Talia, 0-3 Orianna. These are the guys that you need, well, not so much the Talia, but most certainly the Orianna needs a bit of time to get those items under her belt. You can see, even in that jungle fight that we just saw, Talia is more of a CC, or Talia, I said it again, Orianna is more of a CC bot in this scenario more than a big damage carry.
Now, Enclave starting to get to the point where maybe a 1-3-1 starts to become a reality as well. Something that XL doesn't really want to have to deal with because, like you mentioned, if Orianna is forced into a side lane to just wave clear, then she's not really getting to be the CC bot she wants to be. Big engagement to Haddo. Pops his grey health. Oh, Venza forced to flash, but he gets straight into Rift. Huge ultimate. The shockwave will not save Venza. It will not save Rift. Rippy, and that's going to be Rift with a double kill coming through. Huge plays. Now the Rift Herald gets popped down in the mid lane, and they're going to just charge on forward. And Tax is behind them, as is Sendo. I mean, they can't do anything. They're just trying to deny the minion wave, but I've got myself a big purple dog that's just going to charge on down, and
they're going to get the inhib turn. They needed to back before this. Sendo and Tax are completely out of position. Enclave have cracked the base.
They're going to crack the base. They might even go for more, depending on if they find Taxa here. Sendo and Taxa in the jungle.
Hey, buddy,
Sendo,
what are
you doing here? That's this may not be the place for you, man. Aaron wants to say something about that. As Rift dives on in, Quickstep to try and support from over the wall, but Bendy is just doing work on this Cho'Gath. 1 kill to him. Taxa still sticking around. Quickstep trying his best to find the positional advantages. And let's not forget, this Drake is an Infernal.
Don't do it. Enclave want to back away.
No replay, no replay!
No!
No!
It doesn't matter. Yes, thank you!
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at XL trying to push in here. They will get this Drake, although a lot of members of Enclave are hanging around in this area. Aaron sneakily hiding in a bush in the back line.
Alrighty. Here comes Rift. He's going to try and force them backwards.
Oh,
it's a huge engage! And that's going to be Taxa and Venza straight on Deader. Baron's on the table.
Exactly, and Enclave have found the big engages that they needed. Ripping through Venza time and time again. It doesn't matter if you got the ultimate available. There's just too much there. Fantastic play from Enclave. They've looked like they are a team in command, and they are executing it to perfection.
I mean, speaking
Feast
of
is available.
Sendo has
They
flash
can't do it. They can't finish.
No
He's
way.
got flash.
No
Don't do
way.
it. Don't do it.
Oh,
he
okay.
did it.
Monkus able to secure.
Jesus.
What a great smiter he is.
Oh, my heart.
This is the time for a replay.
I was so scared for a replay. I'm so scared. I thought it was gone. I 100% thought Sendo was going to get in there and get the feast off. I did not expect Monkus to be able to pull that off. 1,100 damage left on that. Literally an auto or anything.
This is a great time. Let's go into the replay here. And this is going to be that Baron.
Yeah, look how low this goes. After Rift missed that, I thought it was done. And this is where, look how low it gets, 1,100. You see, if you actually hadn't Shockwave, if you just used the command Dissonance there, that would have been enough to burst down for Sendo to steal it. That was so close, and a very, very dangerous call from Enclave. It pays out for them, and the dividends are being seen right now.
Infernal Drake picked up for Enclave here. And now with a almost 10,000 gold lead, sitting at about 8 at this point, They are going to look to try and push on forward and take down this inhibitor that they've already opened up.
And it's so far away from Excel really hitting these points where they can fight back. Last time around when we're looking at ENCLAVE in this position, they were very close to teetering into those items that would make the big difference. But if you look at Rippy's items right now, all he's got is that Luden's Echo. He's not making his way up towards the second item very fast. And look at everything that's coming through on the side of ENCLAVE right now. They are all working up towards their third items across the board, and it just means that Excel are so far behind that they don't have that big turnaround play in the Shockwave that could cinch them a clutch victory.
Yeah, so far every Shockwave has been an attempt at saving life that has not succeeded. Not been a proactive decision coming through from Rippy. Excel, they need more than just a miracle at this point. ENCLAVE are hungry to find redemption against their opponents after a reverse sweep sought sorrow last season.
I like the way ENCLAVE are playing this out. Aaron is moving in towards the mid lane, pressuring onto that mid inhibitor, because he's got the follow-up. He can engage from a very far away using that Poppy ultimate, and it just means it's impossible for Excel to deal with all the pressure points that ENCLAVE are coming up with. They were taken away from the grips of victory in the last fight. Ooh. Let's see if Quickset can find it again.
Nah, he just gets immediately rooted. Huge engage comes out of Rippy, but there's no follow-up because Rift is on your backline and Venza is already dead. Almost dead, I should say. Here comes Munkus looking for Taxa, flashing on forward. Seismic shove. Bendy almost loses his life. What are you doing there, Varus? I don't even know at this point. It doesn't matter though, because ENCLAVE are looking to take down these Nexus turrets. They've done one of them. Maybe they just fall back, don't give up any deaths, and they can come back another time.
Yeah, Excel hang on by a sliver there. Bendy looking to finish off Rippy, seeing if he could be the hero and finish off the game, but ENCLAVE are still so far in the driver's seat that Excel can't even see them on the road right now. They're gone over the horizon, and it's just clear sails for the side of ENCLAVE. One Nexus turret stands in the way, one inhibitor standing for Excel. Can they bring it back, or have ENCLAVE finally found their victory against this Excel lineup?
Revenge, a dish best served cold. Haddo, the master chef that he is on this town Kench, looking to serve it up in standards that most food hygiene agencies probably would deem unsavory.
I don't think I'd like my food to be slapped around this much, but Quickset, you can see here, tries to find the engage onto Haddo, which is not the priority target in this scenario at all. The Shockwave gets a massive one onto 4 members, but it does no damage. Never mind that though.
Huge fight breaking out, and look who it is. It's Munkus who loses his life. Aaron stuck in a fight that he doesn't want to be in. Everyone else is deserting him, and that will be him going down.
Why were they there?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I like the way you're from the same school. It's if you can't say something nice, you don't say anything at all. Yeah,
that was an interesting play.
Yeah. I mean, that was not what I expected to come back to from the replay. I thought it would have been a pretty easy going forward. Just shove in the wave, have your super minions do the work. You can then get pushed on towards that last inhibitor turret that's there as a 5-man unit. Have both of these waves with super minions pressing forward, but instead Aaron and Munkus have decided to be kind of go commando style, Rambo their way through the jungle and get punished very heavily for it.
And that's why you always wear your undies.
What? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that one hang. That's staying there. But no, we can see them anyway. It's not, they didn't miss out on any big objectives. It's kind of just giving Excel a chance to get these lanes back in control. Yeah. So ENCLAVE can just go for take 2 now. And as you can see, they've still got full control of this jungle. So it's kind of just put about a 40-second delay on everything rather than really being a game changer.
All right. So ENCLAVE back up. Back pressuring this top side once more. Now just have to make sure that they don't allow Aaron and Munkus to do it all by themselves.
Yeah, Rift has just been a great doorman at the moment, making sure that these super minions are getting through. No issues at all. Tickets have been checked, stamped at the door, and they are just powering towards that Nexus, which just gives all the time in the world for the rest of Enclave to tear down that last structure in the top lane.
Yeah, that's all they want to do. The Gage does come through though, looking for more, pulling Eren back. Oh, this wall is huge. This is a lot of damage coming out from XL. They're going to take Monkus down. Rift teleports in, but it's too little too late at this point. Maybe they could do some damage to Sendo, but he's so tanky. Eren dives on in with a last whisper, gets swallowed up by Haddo. And 1 for none in favor of XL will mean that they get to save their base another time.
Baron is up in 25 seconds though, and with both of these inhibs down still for a short period of time while that Baron is available, Enclave should be able to pick that up. Will make that a little bit easier as they try to push forward, because as you can see, Quickset is still a big engage tool for these guys, and XL still have the opportunity to find nice fights if they can. Venzer actually is in a pretty good spot. He does have that Infinity Edge completed, that Runins as well, so he can dish out a lot of damage if he's allowed to do so. The big question though is, can Enclave find the fight that they're looking for, rather than that very split up one where Rift was forced to teleport in?
Yeah. This entire game, Ben's just spent farming whilst Bendy's kind of been pulled into the team fights and not being allowed the solo farm that Quickset has, and we're seeing a huge CS differential start to develop, which is really so necessary if Venza wants to keep up. Yeah, 30 minutes.
Oh, they're started it actually.
2-man it. Rift can play doorman in the jungle.
At the back, though. They do know this is going down. Actually, I don't know. Is there a pick? It looks like it's not actually being able to spot anything, so it's going to force Enclave back anyway. But they still have to be careful. Like, Sendu can try again and feast, and you're only level 13 on Monkus, so he can't out-damage that smite that can come through from Sendo.
XL very far pushed up here, but the inhibitors have respawned, so they don't have to protect their base so much, especially considering Rift is a Poppy. Does have a bit of split pushing power, I suppose, but it's not really the threat that a Darius is. Instead, Rift wants to be in these team fights looking for the engage with that Poppy Hammer. Haddo gets pushed back. It's going to be the root though going on. Oh, this is huge coming through. Can they follow up is the question. Haddo trying to get onto Sendo here. There's the engage on the backline, and Rippy gets ripped apart. It's going to be Sendo in the midst of it all. Venza's dead as well. Looking for more. Sendo will lose his life to Eren. A 4-for-1, and they're already pulling into the base as Bendy and Haddo go for it all, wanting to push down and finish this game where it stands. Tax the last man standing. I don't think Tax is going to be knocking on anyone's door today. It's looking very cleanly like it will be an Enclave win. And if they do knock down this Nexus tower, and they do knock down this Nexus, then Enclave have found retribution in the Forge of Champions. After a heartbreak in the scoring tournament 2, they take the third 3-1 over XL.
And what a tournament this has set us up for, scoring tournament number 4. All these teams so evenly matched. No one knows who's really going to be able to take these games. Enclave now find themselves a victory, and each one of these tournaments now has had a completely different winner.
Yeah, and it shows that there's a lot of really good talent in the UK scene right now, and a lot of really good close top level teams too. And just like you said, it's really set us up for an interesting Forge of Champions 4, because it means no one has absolutely secured that top spot in terms of points. There are obviously 2 major contenders, XL and Enclave, but because of how close the points are, pretty much anybody can get it if they win with the right results, or at least the top half of our table with the right results. That's insane though. I mean, massive congratulations. Rippy was awful that game, honestly. I mean, okay, that's horrible to say. Rippy did not look good in the laning phase that game versus the Yasuo. I mean, he really got put under pressure. XL did not make a good decision at the very first level 1. It gave too much of an advantage over to Eren in the mid lane with that Yasuo. He was able to get level 2 earlier, which meant he was able to all in Rippy earlier, and that put Rippy under the thumb really heavily early on.
And it was the same with the bot lane. It was just that because they didn't have the offensive spells that they wanted to, this Zyra Khan really couldn't get rolling in the same way. And Haddo Haddo played absolutely fantastic in this one. That Tam Kench pick, I was gritting my teeth at it in the champ select, but he showed me. I mean, he played it absolutely fantastically, standing just outside of the engage for Quickset, which meant that every single time Quickset found his way onto Bendy, he was just safe.
Yeah, it was a really tough game, I think, for XL, but they kind of we mentioned it. It was a really weird invade to make on a really crucial part of the series. You didn't need to take that kind of risk. Like, there was no need to take that kind of risk. You had a good bot lane that obviously would have done fine in an even matchup. And not giving a level 2 advantage over to Eren early on would have been great versus the Orianna. Let's take a look at the damage output. I mean, Venza really trying to put XL on his back here, and you could really tell in those team fights that Venza was having a massive impact. But overall, the split damage across ENCLAVE, everybody having their fair share of input.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to look at Rippy there, nearly doing as much damage as the Shogat and the Rakan as well. I mean, this was supposed to be the big disengage tool that they needed, and it felt more like a tickle than a punch.
I mean, I was being harsh, Dowsey, to Rippy. He did have to face an early level 2 Yasuo who tried to all in him very early, and he always was being constantly shoved under turret, which as an Orianna is not great.
Yeah, but I mean, Rippy was brought onto the team to be a communication insurance for the squad, and so when someone says that we should level 1 invade and it doesn't seem like a good idea, that's when communication insurance comes in. No, I'm trying to bring it back. He didn't perform at all.
Well, the thing is as well, don't forget that they saw Yasuo. Yasuo was the first pick, and they picked the Orianna into it.
Yeah.
So if you're going for that invade, it's like, look, if this doesn't work out, we still believe that our Orianna is going to be able to take this matchup. But even without the kill, it didn't look like that matchup was ever going to go in favor.
And this is the one thing that, like, I highlighted during the game. None of Rippy's ultimates were ever, you know, proactive. None of them were like, all right, I can catch someone out with them. All of them were reactive. Crap, someone has dived onto my, you know, carry. Eren's killing them. They were never onto Bendy. They were never onto Eren before a fight broke out, so that Venza had some room to deal with. And I mean, it was hard because this time ENCLAVE got all the pieces they wanted. They had the Poppy for engage for the Yasuo. They had the Gragas as well for the engage for the Yasuo. So they had so many tools, and a lot of Rip's ultimate plays were really impactful to actually get Eren into the position he needed to be able to win fights. But I mean, the one thing I want to focus on before I shut up for the rest of tonight is that Bendy actually played really well.
No, Bendy
it was a really good performance, and you guys were saying it in the entire series. I mean, Varus Bendy. I mean, this seems like a champion that would really suit your playstyle. So that was something that I was like really excited to see, was that he just positioned well, played well.
We've actually got an interview for the first time in Forge of Champions with Monkeys from ENCLAVE, so we should be able to chat to him soon. I'm just waiting. Obviously, these things are always quite technical, so we're just waiting to get him on the line. I think we're good to go with Monkeys. I'm just being told that he should be on the line. Hi, Monkeys.
Hello, boys.
Oh,
hey,
look at
that's
that
a
face.
happy man.
The Baron Steel King making his way onto the lift. How does that feel, by the way, having obviously had a really close series with XL last time round, and this time looked far more confident? You guys played really well. Does it feel good?
It feels very good. I mean, everyone is saying Texas is Smite King, but here I am.
No, I agree. You had a great series, and what was it? What was the kind of mentality going into that second game when you won it, and then you're thinking, "Oh no, this is XL territory. They won the third game." How did you guys reset and say, "No, boys, we're not going to get reverse swept again. We're gonna go in and win this game"?
Yeah, I mean, we've been in this before, so I think our mental was ready for it. We just reset, and this is the best of one we need, and we came up and showed up to the game. So I'm happy, really happy.
Yeah, I think your calls going into that, especially around the Baron, where I was looking at Sendo about to flash in over the wall on this big Shogat, and you were just cool, calm, and collected in that bar. Like, it kind of just showed the confidence that was there for you guys. Was that something that's kind of been in the team the whole way through the series, or is there someone who kind of sets you guys up as kind of a bit of a supportive member of the team?
I mean, our mental, we're always going into this very confident. And like, we know we can win every game, but sometimes we just don't play optimal. But I guess today we did. So I'm still super excited.
This actually puts you guys at the top of the table in terms of points. You are now sitting in the position for EU Masters. So if you continue and maintain that lead over XL, you could be going straight to the EU Masters as ENCLAVE. Is that something that you guys are thinking about? Is that something that you are obviously trying to strive for here? Getting it early as well without having to win the competition would be great. So how excited and how much pressure does that put on you guys?
I mean, I have been to EU Masters before, so it's obviously a goal for me again. But it doesn't really we don't feel the pressure of us not going to Euro Masters because we know we can. So yeah, we're just confident we can win this, all the points, and we can win the league as well in the playoffs. So I feel confident, very confident.
I mean, at this point, you've showcased that as a team, you have a lot of strengths. You know, even in the last tournament's defeat against XL, you did go up 2-0, which is really huge considering that everyone considered XL to be huge favorites coming into it. This roster that's been developed, you know, Bendy coming into the team as well from North America. How have you felt from like the beginning of the season till now, the development of the team and how you've all come together?
I mean, the first time I heard Andy was joining, I was like, NA players. Well, we'll see how this goes, but we're actually developing really well as a team. We're learning every week. We're playing so much, and I believe in our coaching staff as well. They're really good at learning our stuff, new stuff. So it just keeps going. Like, we don't stop.
Fantastic stuff. I mean, in the jungle today, you performed very well, and I think the smites coming through was really huge. Final question we have. Do we go meme here, or do we go serious?
No memes. This is a serious moment.
Serious moment.
Enclave have done incredibly well. I just want to ask a little bit about Rift, because it is something that's important to ask. Do you think he's a really good tool for the team? Because he can practically win 1v1 versus anybody at the moment. Is this guy does he just feel on fire in the team?
I mean, we have so many win conditions in our team. It's really insane. But Rifty, when he gets a lead, it's fucking over. It is over.
We'll bleep that out. Don't worry. Thank you very much, Monkeys. Have a lovely night, mate. Enjoy the win, and we will see you at the next World Champions.
Thank you.
All right, that was lovely to speak to Monkeys, and I believe we were talking about the table, and we'll be able to get it up to you pretty shortly, and we'll show you exactly what's happened at the end of this tournament, because things have now settled, the points have been distributed, and it is going to be, like I said, Enclave topping the table. Not by much, but they are topping the table and then currently in that EU Masters spot, so that's massive for them. But it also makes, like we said, that fourth tournament very spicy. I'm really looking forward to this. Really looking forward to this. Have a look at the scoreboard here. Like I said, we'll have a look at the points totals, and you'll be able to see exactly where each of the teams sit. Here you go. So Enclave at the top with 7,500. XL in second with 7,200. Diabolus at 5,250. Wind and Rain at 4,400. Hyperion 4,250. Misfits at 3,550. M&M at 3,550. And Barrage, who I believe is I think Barrage have had to qualify through open tournaments previously. So this is the only team that has knocked off a previously invited Premiership team, and Barrage have put themselves in the top 8 position for our grand finals, which is big for them. But what's so important is that realistically, Diabolus, XL and Enclave will now all be fighting for that final EU Masters spot, and maybe at a very big stretch, Wind and Rain could potentially be in for a shout.
Like, it is possible for Wind and Rain to make it into first. It would require some help from Diabolus to then also, you know, get something as well. So a really big tournament, you know, 5,500 points for first, 4,000 points for second, and then from that point onwards it drops steeply. You have to be in the top 2 if you want to contest the EU Masters.
And most importantly, guys, you saw the low point threshold that it is to get into the top 8 for our grand finals. If you are a team that has not yet competed in Forge of Champions, but you think that you have what it takes to do so, you could come in, steamroll that open bracket, and get to a top 4, top 2 position, and actually find yourself booked to a position in our top 8. So it's not over for you if you haven't entered Forge of Champions just yet. And speaking of registering at forgeofchampions.com, which is where you can register yourself or your team to make sure that you can compete in the open bracket, we do have a special giveaway for doing so. It is our pool party special, courtesy of Riot. We are giving away every pool party skin in the new set. I don't know which way to turn this. It's this way. We're giving every pool party skin in the next set, and all you have to do is register at forgeofchampions.com, register in this week's tournament, make sure you put yourself in or your team. You then need to go to LVP UK and follow on Twitter, as well as use the hashtag PoolPartyFOC and answer the question, which pool party skin line champion would you take to a desert island and why? We need to know why specifically, and then 3 winners will be chosen next week. The bundle includes, I believe, every pool party skin, and 3 total bundles are available. So good chances, guys, if you go and get yourself entered in. And that kind of about wraps us up. Obviously, follow us on Twitter at LVPUK. Make sure you're using the hashtag Forge of Champions, and for the following tournament, it will be Forge of Champions 4. If you want to talk about this tournament, it will be Forge of Champions 3. The number is specific. Also, if you want to check out any of the VODs this week's VODs will be going up on our YouTube channel, LVPUK on YouTube. Make sure you go and check it out. It has all of the previous videos, as well as everything that you've seen this week. But any closing thoughts, you two gentlemen, from this week?
I'm just super excited. I mean, Enclave came out absolutely swinging, and that just sets up so much. Like, I cannot wait to tune in for the next couple of weeks and see how this eventually plays out.
I mean, a scenario where any one of the 4 top teams right now could be getting an EU Masters spot, depending on how well they perform in the next scoring tournament, is huge. That's super exciting. I can't wait to watch it.
Absolutely, guys. Well, we will be back next week, starting on Wednesday at 6 p.m. GMT, as per usual, or rather 5:45 if you want to catch the pre-show. And we'll have all the games from our Forge of Champions 4, from the quarterfinals to the semi-finals. But for now, goodbye. We'll see you soon.